Hey friends, how you doing there? Do onions go bad eventually? Maybe. I'm just looking here. I see there are some onions here. I have nothing to do with raw onions. Yeah. Those onions are just gonna wait until somebody else does something with them. Probably my mom the next time she's in Israel. I guess they won't go bad before then. What else do we have over there? Potatoes. We also have eggs in the fridge if anybody wants. I'm not going to do anything with them. Probably. Well, friends, if you're in Yerushalayim, you're welcome to come by and pick up some eggs. Friends, how you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf 5 of Masechta Nedarim, friends. I'm standing up again. It's a little bit late over here at night. I had a funny little situation today. I woke up and there was no electricity, so that was interesting. So I got up and went straight to WeWork I only got out of the house like at 4 in the morning. WeWork in Yerushalayim until about 7 a.m. It's mamash Beis HaMedrash. It's mamash Beis HaMedrash. We got my friend Mendy giving shiurim. So I was learning the Daf Yomi this morning. So, alright, we're going to learn Daf Dal, which is, we're going to basically learn about with the Mishnah, continuing in the Mishnah where it says, Mudarani mimcha, Mufrashani mimcha, Muchakani mimcha, that stuff. So, excuse me. So we're going to start in Daf Dal and Beis, about kind of halfway into the page, I'd say, by the two dots. So the Mishnah had said that if a fellow says to his a friend, Mudarani mimcha, Mufrashani mimcha, Muchakani mimcha, I keep on being unable to flip back the things. Come on, things, flip back. Serious thing, flip backwards. Thing, no, not two things, one thing. Yeah. Mudarani mimcha, Mufrashani mimcha, Muchakani mimcha. Thanks for being difficult. Thing. Amar Shmuel. So okay, so a fellow says, I'm vowing myself from you. So then, Amar Shmuel b'chulan ad shomer shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha. Okay, so the Mishnah had said, flip back things. Come on, the people are waiting. Alright. So the Mishnah had said, Omer lechaver, mudarani mimcha, mufrashani mimcha, muchakani mimcha. Basically, I'm staying away from you. Shani ochel lecha shani toim lecha aser. And then it says, shani ochel lecha, that I'm not going to eat anything belonging to you, or shani toim lecha, or I'm not going to taste anything belonging to you, aser. So now it says Shmuel, it says Shmuel, he clarifies for us that by all of these lishonis, when it says muchakani mimcha, mufrashani mimcha, what is it? Mudarani mimcha, muchakani mimcha, mufrashani mimcha, whatever these things are, you have to say shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. You have to then say that second bit, which is that I'm not going to eat from you, I'm not going to taste from you. Meisve, but we have a kasha. Mudarani mimcha, that if a fellow says, I'm vowed from you, mufrashani mimcha, muchakani mimcha, I'm separated from you, I'm distanced from you. Hareze aser. So it says that alone is aser. Shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, hareze aser. And then it says separately that if a fellow says he's not going to eat, right? Reuben says he's not going to eat from Shimon. I'm starting to get bored of Reuben and Shimon. Who should we replace them with? I don't know. A fellow and another fellow? Let's try that. So a fellow says to another fellow that I'm not going to eat from you, I'm not going to taste from you, so then aser. So in this brisa, we're saying two separate things. Like one thing is mudarani mimcha et al. Is that like a thing? Et al, Dennis? Like, is that like how you say, and like the other things? So, and friends, how about that? So mudarani mimcha and friends, aser. And then shani ochel lecha, shani to'am lecha, aser. So these seem to be two separate things. Not like Shmuel says, which is that muchakani mimcha, or whatever, mudarani mimcha is dependent on shani ochel lecha. No, they're two separate things. No, so you have to understand the brisa in the following way. That when we say mudarani mimcha, muchakani mimcha, mufrashani mimcha, it's bamed murmurim. When do we say that that's relevant? Ba'omer shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha. Only if he says that I'm not going to eat from you, I'm not going to taste from you. V'atanya ipcha. But one second, we have another brisa. And in this brisa it says, punkt fakert. Shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha aser. That whatever I'm going to eat from you, whatever I'm going to taste, right? I'm not going to eat from you, I'm not going to taste from you, aser. And then it says, mudarani mimcha, mufrashani mimcha, muchakani mimcha, hareze aser. And then it says, mudarani mimcha, mufrashani mimcha, muchakani mimcha, aser. So in that case, clearly that isn't an explanation of, right, shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, right? Meaning in the first one we said, right, first he's saying mudarani mimcha, and then he qualifies that I'm not going to eat from you. But in this brisa, we're starting out with him saying he's not going to eat from you, and only then getting to mudarani mimcha, and we're saying that both of them are also separately. So tniyachi uchvar amar mudarani. So teach that, he had, when it says that I'm not going to eat from you, he had already said mudarani mimcha. So it's essentially mudarani mimcha, shani ochel lecha. But if that's the case, then both of these brises are saying the same exact thing. That, when he says mudarani mimcha, it's if he qualifies it by saying ad shanu ochel lecha. But so you have two brises saying the same exact thing. So v'od, and more so asur lamali lemisne. In the brisa, it says asur twice. Meaning, if you look in our Mishnah thing, it says ha'omer lachaveru mudarani mimcha, mufrashani mimcha, muchakani mimcha, shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, asur. In our Mishnah, it only says asur once. So I understand why I can explain that it's all the same thing. That if he says mudarani mimcha, so he then has to also say shani ochel lecha, and then it's asur. But in the two brises that we just quoted, it says asur twice. It says, right, mudarani mimcha, asur, shani ochel lecha, asur. It sounds like there are two separate things going on over here. It's not just one thing. So, Ella Hachikamer Shmuel, this is how you have to understand Shmuel. Friends, you ready for how to understand Shmuel? Good. Taima de Omer Shani Ochel Lecha Shani Toim Lecha Dehu Aser V'Chaveru Mutter. That when he says, alright, should we just say Reuven and Shimon? Alright. Or maybe we'll go with my grandfather and his brother-in-law, Ruby and Sherman. How about that? Ruby and Sherman. My grandfather was Zeta Ruby, and his sister was married to Sherman. So Ruby and Sherman. So Ruby says to Sherman, wait, but now it's getting too personal. I don't want to get into family matters over here. So now what do we do? 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 I don't know. What do we... Oh, I have a good idea. Oh no, I don't have a good idea. Oh, I almost had a good idea. Maybe do we have the Lorax? We have the Lorax. What other character do we have? The Lorax. The Lorax, or Reuven and Shimon. Reuven says to Shimon that I'm not going to eat from your stuff. So in that case, so then Reuven can't eat from Shimon's stuff. Shimon can do whatever he wants. Reuven doesn't eat from Shimon's stuff. Aval. But if he didn't mention Shani Ochel Lecha, if all he said was Omer Mudarani Heimecha Lechude, if all he said was that Mudarani Heimecha, he didn't mention Shani Ochel Lecha, well in that case Shnei and Asur, they're both Asur. Because then what Reuven is saying to Shimon is that I and my possessions will not get any benefit from you and your possessions. So I understand how I am not going to get any benefit from you in your possessions, but how are my possessions not going to get any benefit from you and your possessions? So it must mean that you're not getting any benefit from my possessions either. So therefore, in that case, it works both ways. So Reuven's not allowed to get benefit from Shimon, and Shimon's not allowed to get benefit from Reuven. Right? So if he says, so Shmuel is saying that specifically when he says Shani Ochel Lecha, Shani Toim Lecha, that I'm not going to eat or taste from you. So in that case, only Reuven That's to stay away from Shimon. But if he says mudarani heimecha, but he doesn't then say shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, well then it's mutual. It's both ways. Shnei nasurim. Kiadam Rav Yosef Rav Chanina, like Rav Yosef Rav Chanina says, mudarani heimecha shnei nasurim. That if he says mudarani heimecha without saying shani ochel lecha, whatever, so then they're both asurin. Excuse me, I should drink a little bit of water. My cold is getting better. I think by tomorrow I'm gonna, be past like the blowing the nose stage. I think I'm mostly past that already, but my throat's shtickle dry, so I'm gonna drink epis. Excuse me. Says the Mishnah later on in Daf Mem Zayin. Hareini alecha cherim. So if he says that I'm upon you a cherim, all right. Hamuder osir aval madir lo. So the fellow, the muder, right? So let's say like this: the madir and the muder. The madir is the one who's saying this stuff. The muder is the one who it's being said about. So if the madir says "Areni alecha cherim," that I'm upon you a cherim, so I'm muder osir. So then the muder, the other guy, is not allowed to get any benefit from the madir. Aval madir lo, but the madir is mutter. So here we have Hareini alecha cherim. Shouldn't that be the same concept that he's talking about him and his property, which makes it mutual? Lo kigon de parish no v'amadir lo. So it's talking about kigon de parish ve'at olai lo. That is the reason why specifically we say that the muder is asur but the madir is not, is because he specified ve'at olai lo that I'm not going to be asur to you. At olai cherim, you are upon me a cherim. So in that case, I know they're asur. The know there is asur. Aval muder lo, but not the muder. So again, it's the same question, right? Shouldn't it include his property, which then Mele makes it mutual? Lo kigon de parish v'ana alach lo, that he says, but I am not a cherim unto you. Okay, fine. Aval stome, my shneim asurim. But what then? Are we implying though that? So by default, meaning if he didn't say, but Vat Olai Lo or whatever, right? He didn't make that qualification, so by default it would be mutual. Hamidiktani Seifa, but if we continue in the Mishnah, it says, Hareini Alecha, Ve'at Olai, that I am upon you a cherim and you are upon me a cherim. So in that case, Shnei Nasurin. So in that case, then they're both asur. That meaning, if he specifies that it's both ways, so then they're both asur. Hadein hu dishnei masurin. So specifically because he specified both ways, that's why they are asur in one to the other. Hastome. But if he didn't specify that it's both ways, he just says, Hareini alecha cherim. So then, hastoma hu asur v'chaver mutter. He'll be asur, but his friend will be mutter, right? Or I guess in that case, Hudafka, who asur v'chaver mutter. So I think that would be the case of the at olai cherim. Okay, fine. So stame, it's he's going to be asur and his friend's going to be mutter. So what do we see? So it seems not to be like we were saying, right? We wanted to explain that according to Shmuel, when he says shani ochel lecha, that's when he's asur, but the friend is mutter. But if he just says mudarani mimcha, then they're both asur. But over here we seem to be saying that no, that when it's mudarani mimcha, when it's stam, so then only one of them is asur. Rather, this is how you have to understand Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina. Mudarani lecha shnei masurim. That if he says mudarani lecha, so that implies both of them being asur. But mudarani emecha, hu asur v'chaver mutter. But if he only says mudarani emecha, then only he is asur, but his friend is going to be mutter. But v'amas nisim dekatani heimecha. But we said that in our Mishnah, where it's talking about heimecha, right? He's saying mudarani heimecha. V'ukimna lemas nisim l'shmuel, and we explain the Mishnah according to Shmuel. B'chulan at sheyomer shani toim lecha v'shani ochel lecha. Hu de'aser v'chaver mutter. And we said that according to Shmuel, dafka if he says shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, only in that case he is forbidden and his friend is permitted. But by mudarani emecha, both of them are asur. So we just wanted to explain, right, based on the Mishnah later on. We wanted to say that mudarani emecha, when it's bistama and he doesn't mention like I'm asur to you and you're asur to me, if it's just stam, so only one of them is going to be asur. But yet, but yet we're explaining our Mishnah based on Shmuel that when he says Shani Toim Lecha, then he's also in his friend's mutter. But if he only says Mudarani Mimcha, so then both of them would be also. Yet we're saying based on the Mishnah earlier on that only one of them would be also. So Elamei Kar de Shmuel Hachi Itmar. No, this is how to understand Shmuel. Time de Amar Shani Ochel Lecha v'Shani Toim Lecha hu de'ein hu aser de'ein hu aser ela ba'achila. No, so rather what we're saying is that when he says Shani Ochel Lecha and Shani Toim Lecha, so then he's aser ba'achila, right? So he's not allowed to, eat his friend's stuff. Ha mudarani mimcha, but if you would only say Mudarani Mimcha without mentioning Shani Ochel Lecha, Shani Toim Lecha, Osir Afilu Ba'anoya, then he's going to be Osir even Ba'ano. Okay? So when he says Mudarani Mimcha, so then he's going to be Osir from his, right, he's going to be Osir, but his friend's going to be Mutter. And that is, and that's even Osir Ba'ano. But if he says Shani Ochel Lecha, so then it's only eating. Yachi, if that's the case, so Leim Shmuel Hachi, then let Shmuel state that. V'im lo Omar she'ani ochel l'cha v'shani toim l'cha, and if he didn't say shani ochel l'cha v'shani toim l'cha, osir afilu ba'ano, then he's going to be also even ba'ano. Kilu, if that was in fact Shmuel's understanding, so then he should have specified that. He should have clarified that. He should have said that when he says shani ochel l'cha shani toim l'cha, so then he's osir ba'achila, and he's only osir ba'achila. But if he left out that part, then it'd be also even ba'ano. Shmuel should have said that, but he didn't say that, implying that that's not how he understands it. Elochi itmar. Rather, this is how you have to understand Shmuel. Time of the Omer shani ochel lecha v'shani toim lecha hu da'aser. That specifically because he said shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, that he specified that we're talking about eating over here. I'm sorry, that he specified what he's doing, that he's saying, I'm not going to eat from you. So it's specific. That's why he's osir. Aval Omar, mudarani emecha, lo mashma. Do Amar osir. But if all he would say is mudarani emecha, according to Shmuel, it would not imply any kind of isser at all. If he says shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, that I'm not going to eat from you, I'm not going to taste from you, okay, so then he's osir. But if he didn't say that, then he's completely mutter. If all he says is mudarani mimcha, then he's mutter. My time outcome, because mudarani mimcha lo mishta'ina ba'adach mashma. That when he says mudarani mimcha, it means I'm not going to, maybe I could say it means I'm not going to talk to you. Not that I'm not allowed to get any benefit from you, maybe I'm not going to talk to you. Maybe Mufashani mimcha just means I'm not going to do any business with you. Mashma. Muchakani mimcha lo ka'imna b'dal amos dilach mashma. And when it says I'm going to stay away from you, it just means I'm not going to get within 4 amos of you. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to get benefit from you. So therefore we want to say that what Shmuel is saying is that when it says shani ochel lecha, shani toim lecha, only in that case is he actually going to be osir. But if all he says is mudarani mimcha, and that's it, so then garnished. So then nothing. It's irrelevant because it's unclear what it means. It could just mean I'm not. Maybe just saying I'm not going to talk to you. So lemeksav Shmuel yadayim shein mochichos lo avin yadayim. Ha 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 ha. So it sounds like Shmuel saying that yadayim. We learned about yadayim until now, right? It's when you don't mention the whole neder. Right? For example, if he says this pizza is osir to me, but he doesn't say like a korban. It's kind of a shorthand. So here we have a shorthand. He's saying mudarani mimcha. But he's not being specific. He's not saying shani ochel lecha. He's leaving that out. All he's saying is mudarani mimcha. But it's, right, yadayim she'en mochichos. It's yadayim, sure, it's a shorthand, but it's a shorthand that I don't really understand. It says mudarani mimcha. To what extent? He didn't say shani ochel lecha, so I don't really understand. It says, does it mean that I'm not going to talk to you? Does it mean I'm not going to get benefit from you? It's unclear. So it's yadayim she'en mochichos. It's the shorthand that isn't clear. Lo abdun yadayim. It sounds like Shmuel would be saying that this shorthand that isn't particularly clear, that isn't obvious, So it doesn't work, and that's why Mudarani Mimcha is actually relevant. Excuse me, I'm going to chap around, just take a water, nachamo. So says the Gemara that's exactly right. Shmuel mukim la l'masnis and Rabbi Yehuda. That Shmuel establishes that our Mishnah is like Rabbi Yehuda, right? That our Mishnah is saying that Shmuel is explaining our Mishnah. If he says Mudarani Mimcha alone, so it's not going to be so he's not going to be also because it's unclear, and therefore it's like Rabbi Yehuda the Amar who says Yadayim shein mochichos la'avin Yadayim, that if you have sort of a shorthand that isn't entirely obvious what it means, so then it's not considered an effective shorthand. The Tanan, as we learn in the Mishnah, Gufo shall get Hayat Muteres L'chol Adam. It says in Tanakama that sort of the main substance of a writ of divorce is Hayat Muteres L'chol Adam, that you are permitted to everybody, that you're permitted to anybody. And that's all you need according to the Tanakama. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, but Rabbi Yehuda says you have to add V'dein di'avelichi minoi sefer teruchin, and this will be a document of what destruction of breaking up, v'yiger shivukin, and a letter of leaving. You have to add that, these ideas about the breaking up of the marriage. It's not enough just to say muteres l'chodem. You have to say v'dein da'avelichi minoi sefer teruchin v'yiger shivukin. Okay, zeo. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, the shorthand is not enough. You have to go into detail. And Shmuel is explaining our Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, that also shorthand doesn't work, and therefore Mudarani Mimcha is not enough. Amai dochik Shmuel leukma lemasnisin Rabbi Yehuda. Why is Shmuel explaining our Mishnah to be like Rabbi Yehuda? I don't understand it. Meaning, our Mishnah says whatever it says, and comes Shmuel to say, our Mishnah is like Rabbi Yehuda, and therefore Yadayim shemuchichos la'avin Yadayim, and therefore, if he only says Mudarani Mimcha, it's not enough. He has to say Shani Ochelcha. Why say that? Why explain our Mishnah that it's dafka according to Rabbi Yehuda? Look, Mikrabon, wouldn't it make more sense to say that our Mishnah is like the rabbis, V'afagav de'ein Yadayim mochichos, and say that actually, even in a situation where it's ein Yadayim mochichos, right? Even if he says Mudarani Mimcha alone, that should be enough. Why not just explain our Mishnah like the rabbis and say it is enough? Omer Rava says Rav Masnisin Kshise, because Shmuel was having a difficult time with our Mishnah, because Amai Tane She'ani Ochel L'cha She'ani Toim L'cha. Listen, She'ani Ochel She'ani Toim. Because Shmuel says, I don't understand something in the Mishnah. It says She'ani Ochel L'cha She'ani Toim L'cha. If Yadayim She'muchichos Havin Yadayim, if it's enough to have a shorthand that isn't entirely clear, so then just say Shani Ochel, Shani Toim. Why do I need Licha? The reason why I say Shani Ochel Licha, Shani Toim Licha, is because we need, if we're going to use a shorthand, it still needs to be specific. And therefore, Shmuel understood from our Mishnah that you do need Yadayim Mochichos, right? Even if it's a shorthand, it has to be clear, and that's why Shmuel says that if only he would only say Mudarani Mimcha alone, that would not be enough, because it's not clear. Okay, fine. Wait, am I stopping there? Yeah, I think so. Why not? Okay, friends, that was Dafei of Masechta Nedarim. So Dafei, we really discussed the opinion of Shmuel, who says that Dafke, right, he has to say Shani Ochel L'cha v'Shani Toim L'cha. When it says Mudarani Mimcha, so he Dafke has to say Shani Ochel L'cha Shani Toim L'cha. The question is, what exactly does that mean? So the first way that we want to understand what that means is that he needs to, he needs to say both. But that he would need to say Mudarani Mimcha Shani Ochel L'cha Shani Toim L'cha. But then we ask the kasha, because we have these brises which seem to be saying that Mudarani Mimcha alone seems to be enough. So then we said, okay, so if he says Shani Ochel L'cha, Shani Toim L'cha, so then only he's also, but his friends mutter. But if he says Mudarani Mimcha alone, so then it would mean that both of them are also. But then we proved, right, that Reuven's also to Shimon, Shimon's also to Reuven, fine. But then we proved that that's not the case. That Mudarani Mimcha, only he would be also. Okay. So we say, so if he says Shani Ochel L'cha, then it's Asur Ba'achila, but if he only says Mudarani Mimcha, then it's even Asur Ba'ano. To which we asked the kasha on that, and in the end we said that according to Shmuel, Davka, if he says Shani Ochel L'cha, Shani Toim L'cha, only in that case, is he going to be Aser? But if he only says Mudarani Mimcha, he's going to be Mutter. And we said because Shmuel holds that Yodayim She'ein Mochichas Lav Yodayim, that when you have a shorthand that is not clear what exactly it means, because Mudarani Mimcha might just mean I'm not going to talk to you. So if it's not clear what it means, then we just leave it out. So then it doesn't work. So therefore, what Shmuel is saying is that Mudarani Mimcha is ineffective. But if he says Shani Ochelecha, so then it becomes effective, and he's going to be also upon his friend, but his friend will be permitted to him. Friends, that was Daf Hey of Masech Nedarim. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.